Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Charlotte, your friend. Let us bake some buns. So if it's your first time seeing me, do the right thing of subscribing. But if you are a regular, thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this video so much. First thing first, this is me preparing some of the ingredients that we'll be using for today's recipe. You can just take a pen and a paper as we proceed. For our ingredients, we do have 8 cups of flour. This is the main ingredient for today's recipe. We do have a cup and a half of sugar. We do have a full sachet instant yeast. Going to empty the content here. We do have warm water. This is just a 1 cup. We do have 2 cups of milk and 4 large eggs. We have 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 250 grams of margarine. So these are the ingredients that we will be using. We also have some of the items that you need to have, but don't focus a lot on them, but you can always just prepare oil, egg, as well as milk. We will touch base on that later on. The very first thing would be to activate the yeast. So you pour your water, your yeast, and milk, as well as the sugar. Just stir it a little bit, then add your butter. Then we have to leave the eggs alone while we wait for this mixture to form bubbles and smell like bread. While we wait for the bubbles to form, we wipe the surface. Ensure that you are using a very neat or clean surface because we'll be doing kneading of the dough. Now, going forward, we just add the salt to the flour and we hatch the eggs. You can already see I've been joined by a guest. Here is the yeast mixture. It's okay now, the bubbles have formed. What we do now is to add the eggs right inside. You can use a whisk, you can use anything, so I preferred to use that because it was much quicker. Then you will obviously have to mix the wet and dry ingredients together. You can do it in intervals if you are using a small dish that I'm using as well, until the whole mixture is in there. It's not going to be as watery. It's fine as it is because we're still going to knead it. So even if it's not well mixed, it's okay. You place the flour on your surface. This is to ensure that your dough does not stick to the ground or to the surface, because now it's kneading time. Ensure that you do have some little flour on the side, then you keep on pouring to the kneading process. The kneading process should take you about 8 minutes to ensure that the dough has been kneaded both parts, I mean inside out, because the main focus here is to make the dough stretchy. It has to stretch at the end of this process. That's how you will know that it's ready. So this same stretchy technique works on pizza dough as well. We will do pizza some other time. Let me know down below if you would like to see me doing the pizza. So as I'm kneading the dough, please don't forget to subscribe. If you've subscribed, I'd appreciate you to select or click the turn on notification so that when I upload you get notified. Now we are spreading little oil onto the dough. The main reason why we apply a little bit oil inside the bowl is to ensure that it does not stick to the bowl. And when we spread on top of the dough, is to ensure that our dough is not dry, it's moist. You see, it's already stretchy. We will be putting this for about an hour just to ensure that it rises. And because we don't know how much is gonna rise, it's safer to use a bigger plastic.
2,000 years later.
It's been an hour and voila, our dough is ready. So I also had to put it in some warm water, actually hot water, because I found that the process is taking longer since it's quite cold. So you can also put it inside the water, not the content, but the bowl inside the water. Then the kneading process continues. This just gonna take a few minutes. We are just ensuring that the dough doesn't have holes. So here we are mixing so that we close the holes. Have you ever seen bread that has holes inside? So this is to prevent those holes. We do that for about 2-3 minutes, and then you cut to open to see if there are any holes. If you are satisfied that there are no holes, then it means that you do not need to knead further. You just have to shape. At this point, the boy is already tired of waiting, and I don't care much about the shape, but I'm just gonna ensure that it's round. So I'm just giving you an idea of how to fold. Just make sure that the uneven part goes to the bottom. Then you put those one by one. You can make them as big as you possibly can. The bigger, the better. There we go. But if you do have enough time, you can make the shape even nicer and round. So I had mixed the egg and the flour. I mean, not the flour, the milk that I had put aside. Mix the two. I did that offline. Then you use a brush. It's called egg wash, but I also preferred to use milk to prevent my buns from being craggy on top. So make sure that you are very, very, very generous when it comes to the wash so that you don't have to eat white buns or bread rolls. After this, we are ready for the oven. You bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. Voila! This is how your bread rolls will look. To ensure that they are soft, I'm going to just do a test here for you. Mm, 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 mm. Is it me or do you guys sometimes get orgasm from food? That's what actually happened when I was tasting this. And we have come to the end of our video. Please comment down below, like and subscribe. I love you. I'll also be happy if you can share this link on WhatsApp. Bye now. Bye.